Okay. Let's see if everything's working here. It's been a while since I've streamed anything. Alright. Let me just do an audio test real quick. One second. Alright. Seems like it's working. Okay, so first of all, thanks to anyone who watched that last stream that I posted on my YouTube channel. I got a lot of comments on that video, and some of you even hit me up on Instagram with some questions. So let's clear up a few things real quick. On that last video where I was kind of mixing a song that I'm working on right now, there was this drum preset that I made in Ableton called Impala Drums. And it's kind of just like a collection of my favorite samples and stuff I've like recorded and manipulated. And I sort of just made my own drum rack, basically. And I do that a lot in Ableton, where I kind of make these presets whenever I'm working on a song or working with another band that I'm in, because I could easily recall them later on. And it helps a lot when you're like demoing song ideas and stuff like that. So some of you have asked about getting that drum rack with those sounds in it. And I got enough questions about it that I decided that I'll open up a little store where you could download like one-shot samples or Ableton drum racks, like the full rack if you use Ableton. And if you don't use Ableton, you could just use the one-shot drum samples. And I'll also be selling like guitar loops and other things like that. And they won't be very expensive at all. I need some time setting up the store and just making sure everything's going to work properly with the payment and the deliverance of the product you buy or whatever. But today I'm going to be working on a brand new song from a band that I am in. Well, it's kind of like a band. It's three of us. We record a lot of music together, and we've never really played a show. But this is a new song that we're currently working on. It's nearly finished. I just need to tighten up a few things on the mix that have really been bothering me. I just can't quite hone in on what it is that I don't like about it. I just know that every time I finish up a mix, it sounds good here. And then when I head to my car or elsewhere, there are just these little things that are bothering me still. So I'm going to try to fix that up today. And I guess I'll kind of go through my process of how we came about these sounds and what exactly I'm doing here to achieve the sounds I'm getting. A lot of the comments on some of the comments on the other video said to do more tutorial type stuff. In the last video, I wasn't talking at all. If you want me to go back to no talking, we can do that, because I hate talking on mic for the internet. But here we go. This is brand new, unreleased. It's called Ivy by my band Pyramids. You can check us out anywhere. Pyramids, 2 words, Purmids. First thing that I want to address is these drums. I've spent a lot of time working on these drums. When Dan, our drummer, and I were working on this song, we're trying to get the groove right and the beat right, because the initial demo that we did, I had just like this 4-bar drum loop that I programmed, and we kind of just wrote the entire song to it. A lot of like the cool little bass lines and stuff. So we knew we needed to somewhat keep the kick pattern and also change it up so it wouldn't be completely robotic and stale. So let me just show you what we ended up doing here for the drums. We actually recorded drums, real drums, in my living room, which we often do. That's where we always record, actually. And I mic'd it up with 4 mics, kick mic, 2 snare mics, and an overhead mic. And then I kind of use little bits and pieces of it here and there, but I always use this overhead, this mono overhead. Here's it. I'll show you what I got on it. Nothing too crazy. Quite a few things though. So let me put this all in a rack, and I could just kind of turn it on and off for you. So this is the raw sound. And then here's with everything. Yeah, so all I'm really doing here is kind of EQing, trying to take out a little bit of this snare, and I'll show you why later. Taking off some of the low end. This glue compressor is just doing a sidechain thing because I actually have a snare sample up here. Got some compression, Waves, H-comp. Got this cool little plugin from Waves, this DBX. Some more subtractive EQ, just some weird frequencies I didn't like. Very slight de-essing. Oh, where am I at? Here we go. Just very slight de-essing for the cymbals and crashes and stuff when he did hit them. And inverted the phase at the end because I had to make it kind of glued together at my sample a bit more. So here's the overhead with the sample. Let's see. Actually, it'd probably help if I just played the entire drum. Here we go. And you can see right here the kick. Do the same thing that I did. Oh, I can't actually. So here's a raw kick drum sound. I believe it was an Audix D6 mic we used. And a lot of times when I'm recording drums, I'm not trying to get the most awesome raw sound out of it. I'm trying to get information because I like to have a lot of control over the drums while I'm mixing. So if I have a good kick signal, I mean, I do try to get a good kick tone, like a good tracking tone that sounds great when listening back to what we're getting. But when I dive into the mixing part of it, you'll find very soon that things might not really work out. And partially that's because I don't really have a crazy mic selection, and I don't have a lot of like outboard preamps and compressors to really make the drum slam the way I want to, going straight in the box. So I kind of have to do it after the fact. And I've developed a bit of a little system to help, especially when it comes to making music in this band, Pyramids. So I ended up doing all this adjustments to the kick. And then I got this really old program called Drumagog, which is like a triggering program, which is really cool because you can mix in the raw tone of the kick with the sample. But for this song, we were really trying to achieve a very dry, tight drum sound. Almost electronic, but it's still played organically, but still kind of give it like this edge to where it feels like it's programmed, it feels like it's a drum machine, but it's definitely not. Let's see. definitely hear that room mic a bit more here. See, and that sounds dope, but when you got a lot of other stuff going on in the song, that sound is really going to disappear with all the other instrumentation that's going on. So that's where the sampling and triggering kind of comes in to help you gain back that control in the drums and help that kick and snare really stick out of the mix. And you could see I'm layering crashes here because, while Dan played, our drummer, he hit a crash here and there. But I'm using a mono overhead mic. I'm not using two stereo pairs, two stereo overheads or anything like that. And like I said, I'm just trying to get the tightest information. I know kind of before we start recording what I want to do after the fact. So this is why I like to lay down some organic samples from drum sets, like these cymbal crashes here, and I do a lot of like tricks, like let's see, some snaps and claps and all that. You could hear it. And you could see for this part, Dan is playing some ghost notes on the snare, which is it's a bit more expressive than the other parts where he was just hitting the snare straight through. And I had this whole 2 mic setup on the snare, and I used it for a trigger track for the drum sample here, but I also have the raw mics to capture the nuances that he's going to do on a snare, if he's doing anything fancy. But for this song, kept it pretty simple, but it's kind of cool to have this little ghost note part, because the whole song, like I said, it sounds kind of robotic and it sounds programmed, but then you hear like some organic ghost notes and it kind of throws you off, which in a good way though. Here, let me play you some of it with all the vocal tracks, because we got pretty crazy on here. Our singer, his name is Will. He also makes music under the moniker Banana Cream. Check him out. It's fucking crazy. He's wild. I'll play it from the verse right here. Tell that my computer is glitching out a bit. This session is massive. I have so much going on, so I might have to finish it off stream, guys, but I'll try to go through it a bit more just to kind of show the process. When I'm done here on this Twitch stream, I'm gonna upload this video to YouTube. But if you guys, anybody watching this is on Twitch, you can go ahead and follow me at Nowyouknow, one word. Let's see, what else could I show you here? Well, this is kind of interesting. Here's actually the first rough demo we did of this song. You could tell right away that the vision for the drum sound is definitely there, but it just needed some oomph and needed like that organic groove, the hi-hats in that original demo just sound so robotic and boring. But let's get back to this. Alright, this lead sound, just one guitar, nothing crazy going on here. Some EQ, multi-band dynamics, just to kind of compress those certain frequencies. I used a fab filter from subtractive EQ, just to get rid of the harsh frequencies, a bit of compression, and this other stuff it's here. I didn't use it though. And of course at the end, Valhalla, man. These reverbs, they're just amazing. I'm using this more and more now. And I got Echo Boy here at the end. Nice. I love Echo Boy. But yeah, I tracked that on this telly that you see behind me. Let's see, what else can I do? Go through the bass. I think someone asked me about the bass tone. All on the Hofner Ignition bass. The cheapest Hofner you could buy. But it's got flat wound strings on it, and I plug it right into my Golden Age Project Pre-73 preamp, which is a pretty affordable preamp. I think it's under $400 or so. But you bump that to get some harmonic saturation, and it just makes the bass sound amazing, man. Plus, you got to be a little bit expressive with your playing. Kind of palm mute it slightly here and there to get some of that chunkiness out. But you could see, like, I played this first part right here. And then Will and I from Pyramids, we send stuff back and forth to each other. He has Ableton too. And then he added this chorus bass line, which is fucking dirty. And you can kind of see that my track is mono here. And you can see his stereo bounce stem, which is probably not the way we should be doing things, but fuck it, sounds dope. Who cares? I feel like for this track, the synth patches really kind of just elevated this song to a new level. Let me play them for you here. See, this is where that Tame Impala influence comes back, because I'm using. Oh, I froze the tracks, printed them, but I'm using the Roland JV1080 for these sounds right here, which is like, it just makes you think of Tame Impala Currents right away. You just hear that nostalgic R&B 90s sound, early 2000s. And this is just a Rhodes keyboard. Use a Lounge Lizard for all the Rhodes stuff. It's a great VST. Check it out. Oh, Will added this really cool part from Outputs Arcade, which is pretty much like these loops and samples within a VST that they offer by that company Output. And you could find some really cool stuff on there. You could change the key to kind of fit your song. It syncs with your tempo. You kind of found this little loop. You can hear that in the background. We'll dive into the vocal stuff right here. because the vocal processing, man, this can get crazy. It usually does. And at this point of Pyramids, Will and I kind of have like a whole system of how we like to record vocals together. I don't really do a lot of comping. We kind of just go line by line and make sure we get what we like and then move on. So you could kind of hear, all we did here, we do like a main vocal and we do a double. Let me play you the original. Actually, that might be, there's way too much stuff on here, but I'll just show you what I got.
Let go, goodbye, turn out the lights. So long, good try.
Alright, so the vocal chain is usually something like this. I recently got this Waves tune, auto tune real time. I used Ontaras before, and I don't know how I feel about this one quite yet. It's my first time using it, but it seems to do the job. Right after that, this dope R vocals compressor that you need to get. It's really just a clean, straightforward compressor. It's got a gate, compression, gain, super simple. My favorite EQ, after they made it after that Pultec EQ, that vintage EQ. And I always boost it around here. Right here I'm boosting it pretty wildly. For this song, the verses have like this, they have like a warm distortion, almost radio-like effect. And then when the chorus hits, it gets very wide. And the high end is very, very crispy. Tickles your ears a certain way, and I wanted that juxtaposition of tones from the verse and chorus to be very obvious for this song. We're trying something a little different for this song, but you can kind of tell here. Let's see.
Become the hardest part of life. Let go, goodbye, turn.
Skip the verse vocals. Let's see. What am I doing here?
Become lessons after time.
I think this is like the main part of this sound is the RC20. I kind of have this little EQ thing going on for the distortion. And a slight wobble. A little bit of that digital. This magnetic, just to kind of give it like some character. Go on and on.
Become lessons after time. Have we become the hardest part of life?
You can kind of tell what it's doing there.
Think don't mean nothing unless we try. Let's hang on to this moment.
Yeah, I don't know. I like it. Then some more Valhalla verb. In this band, we like to keep our vocals really, really wet. Very dreamy, reverb drenched. We don't shy away.
There's still fight.
I guess this is kind of like a little trick. Sometimes I like taking the ending of a word. Sometimes it could be like only a syllable. And then just kind of drench that. You know, resample this on Ableton. And then drench that little part with an effect. So that's the raw sound, and then I don't know, man, stuff like that when I'm listening to music, you could use it in a very creative way. You could use it to like emphasize certain words, or maybe there's like a part in the song that just needs to be filled out a bit, and just let that crazy modulated analog delay sound going. Yeah, so for that I used Echo Boy, analog delay, ping pong, nothing crazy. What else do we got going on here? Maybe I should just play the rest of the song without stopping it. Yeah. You know what? I'll play the whole song as is right now. And Hopefully the computer doesn't glitch out too much. But yeah, enjoy. Sneak preview. Ouch. All right. Sneak preview of a new song. Hope you like it. Let me know in the comments below. If you hate it, please let me know. Let's see. One last thing I'll kind of show, since in the last video people were mainly asking about drum stuff. There's like this cool little fill thing we did here. Or Dan played this really dope fill. Yeah. So we kind of just overdubbed this fill. Let me see. Jesus, this is like such a dense fucking project. All right, here we go. So what we did is kind of smash the hell out of this overhead mic. Play it without. You can see how dry that sounds without anything, and I'll show you why in just a second. Yeah, so that's the overhead fill. I use our vocals on drums sometimes for that little gate. It sounds cool. But this is such a monster plugin, the Devil Lock, modeled after the Shure Level Lock. So awesome. Makes drums sound badass. And kind of the same thing. But then we added this crazy ass motion plugin by Waves. This thing is wild, dude. I just wanted to use it on something. I got it like a couple months ago and I haven't used it yet, so more Valhalla. The Meta Flange. Classic old school flanger. Thing has been around forever. Does a job. Then I layered it with this orchestral hit from Cashmere's sample pack. I know that sounds like overkill, but in the mix, you can't really hear it. It's more like a spatial effect. And, this motion plugin by Waves is throwing around that fill. And this orchestral hit is just like kind of reiterating the fact that a snare hit was there. Because it kind of almost doesn't sound like anything when you throw the flanger and everything. But then there's one final piece, which is more the same drum part, just super crushed even further. And I put it to the right because the motion plugin was kind of going more to the left. And it kind of sounded like empty on one side. So when you kind of sandwich everything together, you get like a full spectrum. I don't know. Just thought that sounded badass. That's pretty much it. Hopefully those who watch this video kind of get some insight or I don't know, something out of it. You guys seem to like the last video and you said to do more. I'll try to do more tutorial type stuff. But that's all for now. I need to hop off this stream so that I could finish this song without my computer freezing or glitching. But yeah, all right, enjoy.